2016. With technology being as advanced as it is, and almost everybody with a phone in their hands has the ability of being able to upload a picture or recording within seconds, which makes media become a major effect on people's lives. In the sports world, athletes are observed more closely. Athletes are and should be conscious of this in order to protect their image and careers. When asking media specialist Ben Bullock of Delaware State University how athletes and the media go hand in hand, he said,
From my perspective, me working in sports information, we pretty much make sure that whenever they address the media in a particular way, that they're saying the right things. Say, for example, there's a situation that we're not allowed to comment on, we make sure that we communicate effectively with them to make sure that, they don't throw the school under the bus or say something they're not supposed to get the school in trouble. So from an athlete standpoint, they had to be very smart, not only to talk to the media, but also through social media as well. With some media people, their job is to cover the team. So, from a beat writer standpoint, you can focus on what they do and kind of develop your own content, own opinions about a person, which is unfair, but that's part of the business. Even from a positive standpoint, some reporters out there who do go out and try to focus on athletes and what they do in the community when they go back home or through charity events. So it's definitely a way you can put it out there to make an athlete look bad and also good.
The media is a major influence. It can affect athletes' performance and action on and off the court. It can affect athletes in different ways, positive and negative. When asking athletes if the media could affect their performance, they said,
yeah, it could. I mean, even sometimes players have bad games and good games. So if you have a bad game, they can probably try to platform you as, he's not that good of a player, or he can't shoot that good, You might have a bad night, but other times you might have a great night. You might have 40 points, and you might be the best player in the country.
I would definitely say it can affect performance, just if you're the type of player that, is always on social media, looking at people after bad games or good games, it could affect you going forward. Some people read deep into the lines of what people say and how people portray athletes, but it could definitely affect you.
The media can definitely affect the performances. It gives you hype, and then at the same time, it'll make you want to do stuff out your comfort zone.
The media has ways of being able to put athletes and those around them in a better situation with the right material that they choose to broadcast to the public. The media also can show young athletes a path to be successful and how to carry themselves as a person in a positive way. In results of that, young athletes portrayed as upcoming potential can receive positive results.
I think the media affected me good. Just being able to play on the platform I played on, just getting that national attention. Had somebody work with me, put out a little video. We was working real hard, and I think that was it. That got me that break I needed. And I was sitting home for a while, so it was about that time for me to go ahead and go across the world and do what I love to do.
Solid guard for this Delaware State basketball team.
He's a good point guard, JP. He's a good distributor, handles the ball, and has good poise on the floor.
Personally, for me, the media was good. It got me out there, got me exposed to everything, getting used to it for the next level. Got a lot of phone calls from different schools and different young athletes trying to figure out what I did to get there.
I think it was great for not only me, just for Delaware State, because we're a small university, we're HBCU, so we don't get the recognition of, the major Division I programs. So, it brought a lot of attention to the school, which we probably never had before. But it was definitely good for me. Opened a lot of doors, a lot of future agents and a lot of teams, either overseas or in the NBA or professionally. It brought just some more attention to me that, probably they didn't see.
You had a 30-30.
Yeah.
Is that the one thing people always talk to you about?
Yeah, every workout they come in, they was like, man, you had a 30-30 game. Like, how'd you do it? I'm just like, man, it was just one of those games. I mean, if they watched SportsCenter, they would have seen it.
Social media is such a powerful tool at this day and age. Being broadcasted and shown off to the world, it is easy for people to see how most individual athletes conduct themselves on a daily basis. This can help build or break a relationship with fans and supporters without even knowing or affecting them personally.
Social media, it gets you a broad fan base that people like across the world can see what you're doing and how good you're doing on and off the field or court or whatever sport you're playing.
On the field, he's a Super Bowl champion and one of the most feared defenders in football. Off the field, Cam Chancellor has as big a heart as the boom he lowers on opposing offenses, and today he once again poured that heart into the place he calls home. Back in Norfolk for his 7th annual Bam Bam Spring Jam Memorial Day Cookout.
The stars were aligned, and they were out in their communities as the NBA family served up Thanksgiving meals at some of the more than 375 charitable events that will make up the NBA Cares Season of Giving.
Once an athlete's image is damaged, it is hard to build it back to being that quote-unquote good guy everyone has made them out to be. Negative media publicity comes with consequences.
Last time I was on DVD on camera, I got in trouble, bro.
What? Why would you get in trouble? By who? I'll help you out.
No, you can't help me, dog, doing this.
Furthering your career, obviously you're gonna have some negative people that, you know, like to comment about your performances or just about you as a person, but you know, you as an athlete, you can't read in too deep into that.
Here are some professional athletes losing their cool over things that they might have been criticized for and bashed about. Sometimes it's not only the athletes themselves' image that is affected, but also their families.
Coach says that you have...
I want to see your face when you ask me this question and the way you're going to ask it. Look a man in the eye before you try to kill him or make up something. Look me in the eye. I read papers every day. I read you guys every day. And you know the difference between me reading your papers now and me reading your papers 10 years ago is that now I know when I read it. 10 years ago, I didn't know when I read it.
You wanted me to jump off the bridge, I finally have jumped. You wanted to bring me down, you finally have brought me and my family down. You finally have done it.
Bonds made clear at a press conference exactly what he thought of the gathered sports reporters.
All of you lied. All of you have said something wrong. All of you.
Once the media has damaged or labeled you to be a certain way, you have to go about rebuilding your image in a cautious manner. When it comes to the media, they want more viewers, and for that, they have to have interesting topics to write, type, or talk about. Bad publicity has a big effect on athletes, mentally and physically. Bad publicity highlights those athletes that get in trouble that lead to fines, suspensions, and sometimes loss of contracts with teams and sponsors.
Cleveland Browns quarterback Johnny Manziel sits in the lineup tonight. The former Texas A&M star was benched after video that apparently showed him partying here in Austin was released on social media. This video was reportedly taken last weekend in Austin.
Maryland University, where 5 female lacrosse players have been suspended for allegedly sending threatening messages about freshman members of that team, even coaches. ABC's Lindsay Davis is here with this disturbing story.
It is very good. It was a situation that we had here at Delaware State about a couple years ago. I'm not going to comment on it too much, but without giving so much information, that they were caught up in an unfortunate situation that involved some burglary. So their image was tarnished because we had about 5 players put in the newspapers for that.
All-star cut by the Ravens tonight, suspended by the NFL after a troubling new video has surfaced. You'll remember these images, Rice dragging his then-fiancée out of an elevator. But tonight, for the first time, we're seeing something else. What happened in the moments before, and then what happened next, now costing him his job. Tonight, the NFL taking action. What will authorities now do?
The Minnesota Golden Gophers are likely on the brink of a major scandal after 3 players were suspended because one of them reportedly posted a sex tape to Twitter.
When negativity strikes and receiving bad publicity within the media, it takes a toll on some athletes. Bad publicity could deal with violence to breaking rules to even getting a bad injury.
Getting hurt. That set me back a little bit. That was on national TV on ESPN. They was very hesitant. They didn't really want to take a chance at first. They didn't really think if I would be able to come out there and perform the way I should at a high level.
Negative, yes. Websites, TV, newspapers, especially with games you lose and people talking bad about what you're doing wrong all the time. It makes you feel bad about yourself. It's a big effect. It definitely brings you down.
If you were to ask an athlete how they would like to be portrayed as in the public, they would obviously say in some form or fashion in a positive manner. Nobody wants to be that quote-unquote bad guy.
I definitely want to be seen as known as a good guy, a hard worker, good to be around, get along with others, and just being me myself, not being nobody else, just being me.
I'm gonna be portrayed as a good human being. I make sure I have no bad reflection of me and everything. I want to make sure I look good in all ways.
As people, we have role models and people we want to carry ourselves to be like. And our role models are usually those people of power and fame, like parents, superheroes, and athletes. Asking a few athletes who they would like to be portrayed by in the sports world, they said,
Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan handles the media real good with interviews, being one of the best players in the world to ever play the game of basketball, in my opinion. You know, he's getting interviews all the time, and you know, he's always on that, under the camera. So I mean, he deals with it very well from when he started playing in college to the NBA to now his Hall of Fame status.
In the public eye, I want to be like LeBron. I mean, he gives back to everybody. He makes sure he's out in the community, working with people, gives back to his hometown, his schools that he went to, schools that he knows that are struggling.
I have to say LeBron James because he's a phenomenal athlete and he knows how to use his words, you know, to make himself look good and just, you know, not get himself into too much trouble.
Athletes are sometimes misunderstood, in the wrong place at the wrong time, or just themselves, which can be a negative thing. The media creates an image in which people see you to be, without even knowing the real you. When asking some athletes whose image they would stay away from, they said,
I would have to say Allen Iverson. I think they put a bad image on him. Media definitely flip-flopped him all the way around because in the outside looking in, they made him seem like he was a thug and, you know, he wanted to be this and that, wearing baggy clothes, but that was just him. He was just being him, being himself. And, you know, you can't judge a book by its cover. You know, nobody really knew Allen Iverson deep down inside, but the media made him seem like he was a bad guy.
Back in the day, I had to say Charles Barkley because he's one of those guys that, you know, said how he felt when he felt it and didn't care about who understood him or who didn't.
In conclusion, with how the media affects athletes, there's two sides to it. With that being said, a positive side and a negative side. Ultimately, it is up to an athlete as an individual to uphold their image, but the media does have a significant way of making it the way they do.